The impacts of climate change have been evident across the world, with temperatures rising that have broken previous records. With ongoing summer reaching its peak in Nepal, many Tarai-based regions have reported of temperatures above 41 degrees that has crippled daily lives, daily wage workers being the most affected. Good evening, I'm Sarah Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Ruling and opposition lawmakers engage in blame games over the budget. Experts say lawmakers' opinions limited to seeking popularity. Decision to lift age limit rocks CPN-UML, aspiring youth leaders disgruntled, saying overturning the General Assembly's decision was undemocratic. Ukraine's defense minister says their forces have advanced in various sections of Bakhmut, saying offensive form while evacuations from flooded parts of Kherson region continues. And defending champions Machindra becomes runners-up at the Martyrs Memorial A Division League, defeating Himalayan Sherpa 3-1. New Road team defeats Manang Marshangti. Discussions on the budget for next fiscal continued at the House of Representatives today as well. Lawmakers from the ruling parties have continued to defend the budget, saying it will improve the country's reeling economy by raising capital expenditure and reducing unproductive expenses. They have termed the target of increasing capital expenditure and decreasing unproductive expenditure, scrapping and merging 20 government institutions, control of revenue leakage and prioritizing industrial sector as positive aspect of the budget. Opposition lawmakers, meanwhile, have questioned the implementation part of the budget, saying that the economic development priorities were unclear and that the budget had been distributed in an uneven manner. Lawmakers Upendra Yadav and Amresh Kumar Singh expressed reservations, saying that the budget allocated for Madhya province, that is behind in terms of human index, had been very low. During the 0 hour of the session today, lawmakers demanded the government withdraw the decision to scrap district offices of Election Commission, saying that it would weaken transparency of elections. Lawmakers also raised concerns on the delay in the construction of Mid-Hill Highway, road security, exploration of petroleum ores, citizenship bill, scarcity of seeds and fertilizers, and landless quarters, among others. Lawmakers have been making efforts to voice their issues during the discussions being held on the budget in the federal parliament. Meanwhile, it has been understood that several suggestions given by lawmakers from the ruling alliance have failed to be incorporated in the budget. Lawmakers have been raising questions on the issues, including manipulation of tax rates in the budget presented by Finance Minister Prakash Sharan Mahat on the 29th of May and excessive tax imposed on daily consumable food items. They have suggested for introducing provisions that will ease the lives of general public. The main opposition, CPN-UML's chair KP Sharma Oli, put forth his views on the budget for the almost 2 hours and said that the budget does not represent public sentiment. Lawmakers have been eagerly giving their suggestions since media have also been prioritizing their views. However, their suggestions have been found ignored by the government. Budget must be formed based on the issues raised on the principles and priorities of the budget during budget discussions. Different issues surfaced during budget discussions. However, suggestions given by lawmakers are limited to formality. It has been evident that the government disregards suggestions given by lawmakers and changes a number of provisions if deemed necessary after the budget gets endorsed. The government policies and programs too were endorsed without amendment even after holding long discussions. There is a general call on the authority to avoid this trend and include the suggestions of lawmakers for effective implementation of the budget. CPN-UML has decided to lift the age limit of 70 years for party leadership. Although the decision was taken 3 weeks ago, it came to light just today. This has disgruntled second-generation leaders and raised questions if the leadership faction intends to pave way for its current chair, KP Sharma Oli, to lead for a third term or help another aged leader to the position. The decision was taken by the party's Central Committee meeting that took place between 11th to 13th of May. During the party's 10th General Convention 2 years ago, incumbent chair Oli was 3 months away from turning 70. For his convenience, the party amended its statute to allow elected leader to lead the party before turning 70 to continue serving in the post. Based on the statute, UML's 11th General Convention is scheduled for Nepalese year 2083, which is 3 years away. Based on existing provisions, 18 leaders, including Oli himself, who is 72 years old at the moment, Ishwar Pokhrel, Suwas Nemwang, Asta Lakshmi Shakya, Yubraj Gewali and Ram Bahadur Thapa would be unable to contest for leadership in the next General Convention. The statute also prohibits any leader from serving as office bearer in the same post for more than 2 terms. Party's statute prohibits Oli from running for leadership for a third time. Meanwhile, youth leaders have expressed doubt over the implementation of the decision. Secretary Yogesh Bhattrai, who has been advocating for age limit within the party, has said the provision might not be applied by the 11th General Convention, but clarifies that he will continue to speak up against any such attempts. Some leaders close to party chair Oli, meanwhile, opine age has nothing to do with political career. Vice Chair Yubraj Gewali, who himself is over 70 years, opines age should not limit one's political aspiration. Speculations are also rife that age limit was lifted to allow leaders Bamdev Gautam and Chalnath Khanal into the party and appoint Mukunda Neupane to office bearer's post, all three of whom have crossed the age of 70. In other parties like Nepali Congress, Maoist Centre and Rashtriya Swatantra Party, there is no age limit for party leadership. As the trend of announcing plans and programs without significance and leaving them stranded has continued unabated, the Tribhuvan University has started restructuring itself in a bid to end the race of establishing universities in which government officials are involved. TU is being restructured by integrating its constituent institutions and educational institutions that have been provided affiliation and by establishing provincial universities. The Executive Council of TU has already made a decision in this regard. There are 62 constituent colleges and 1,060 colleges that have been granted affiliation. The university has failed to monitor performances of these institutions. In the meantime, the government has moved forward with establishing new universities by integrating colleges under TU. TU is set to establish provincial universities in all 7 provinces as per the requirement. The task force, coordinated by Professor Shivalal Bhushal, prepared a report on restructuring the university and was passed by the Executive Council. The provincial universities that will be under the leadership of Chief of Education can conduct classes for new subjects and faculty according to the requirement. Meanwhile, it has been mentioned in the report that the province government will have to bear the expenses of the provincial universities. The move is expected to improve the standard of TU and its provincial universities, as well as improve the administrative aspect. Experts opine that it will curtail the race of appointing officials that have reach. 11 federal and 5 provincial universities are currently being operated. Majority of them have been established by integrating colleges affiliated to TU, while number of colleges are in crisis. Experts opine that establishment of provincial universities by Tribhuvan University will minimize irregularities witnessed in education sector. In our Public Voice segment, today we have asked people in several provinces what should be done to control adulteration of food. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
सामान किन्दाखेरि डेट एक्सपायर छ कि छैन यति हेरेर मात्रै किन्नुपर्छ।
सरकारी निकायहरूले चाहिँ
चेक जाँचहरु राम्रोसँग गरिदिनु पर्यो
उपभोक्ता सचेत हुनु पर्यो
खाँदाखेरि त्यसको स्वादहरु कसरी आइरा छ कतिको फ्रेश छ छैन भन्ने कुराहरु चाहिँ त्यो हामीले एकदम त्यसमा चाहिँ याद गर्नुपर्ने कुरा रहेछ
कानुनहरु पनि छ त्यसलाई एकदम कडा भन्दा कडा रूपले लागू गरे भने मात्रै यो सम्भव छ
अनुगमन गरेर जो चाहिँ समाति राख्नु भएको छ अनुगमनमा समातियो भने त्यसलाई चाहिँ कडा भन्दा कडा सजाय दिनुपर्छ
पहिले त उपभोक्ता नै सचेत हुनुपर्छ
जनचेतना चाहिँ जगाउनु पर्छ
भन्सार निकायमा नै चेक जाँच गरेर त्यो प्योर छ शुद्ध छ भनेपछि भित्र्याउन दिने
हामीले सकेसम्म घरकै खानेकुराहरु खानुपर्छ
आफूले चाहिने उत्पादन आफै उत्पादन गर्न सक्यो भने त तपाईको बजारको खाद्य पदार्थहरु किन्न पनि परेन आफै बिसावट पनि कम भयो
Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Before that, let's take a look at the result of yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked, what do you think of the government's decision to raise the number of countries for foreign employment? 55% voted for A, unable to provide employment. 25% voted for B, to raise remittance. And 20% voted for C, to create opportunities. And here's today's question. What's your take on CPN-UML's decision to lift the age limit of 70 years of leadership? Your options are A, intention to discourage youth leaders, B, to fulfill vested interest, and C, age is irrelevant in politics. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option, A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Damage to the Kakhovka Dam has resulted in the flooding of 29 towns and villages along the Dnipro River, Ukrainian Defense Minister says. Thousands of people have been evacuated from their homes in the Kherson region after yesterday's breach. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says hundreds of thousands of people have been left without drinking water, and officials say 42,000 are at flood risk. Kyiv and Moscow have accused each other of damaging the dam, claims they both have denied. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces have advanced in various sections of the Bakhmut direction, the country's deputy defense minister has said. Russia has said it had defeated Ukrainian attacks near the city, which has been fought over for months.
Sports news.
Neuro team NRT has climbed to top 6 of the Martyrs Memorial A Division League, defeating Manang Marsangdi 1-0. In the match held in Chiasal ground in Lalitpur, NRT piled pressure on Manang right from the start. Dipesh Ali Mogar scored in the 17th minute to give NRT the all-important lead. Manang, despite several chances, failed to find the net. This was the first time Manang had been defeated in the past 11 matches. The club is at the 7th position with 32 points. NRT has 33 points. Manang are up against Machindra and NRT are up against Sankata in the last round matches of the domestic top flight. Defending champions, Machindra have become the runners-up of the Martyrs Memorial A Division League, defeating Himalayan Sherpa 3-1 today. In the match held in Dashrath Stadium, Machindra took a 1-0 lead in the first half. Bimal Gharti Mogar utilized a pass from Pujan Uparkoti in the 26th minute to head in. This was Mogar's 5th goal in the ongoing season. Machindra doubled its lead in the 68th minute through Olawale Afiz's goal. They were awarded penalty in the 77th minute, which Afiz converted, marking his 21st goal in the ongoing season. Towards the fag end of the match, both the sides went down to 10 men. Mutamba Pistoni scored a consolation goal for Sherpa. Machindra became runners-up with 42 points collected so far. 9th placed Himalayan Sherpa have 31 points. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.